Alright, so this is John Linstrom. I'm at the Bailiwick property. That's Bailey's summer home over there at Bailiwick. She continued visiting even long after he had sold most of the farm. Either sold it or donated it to the local Girl Scout camp via Comstock, which became Camp Comstock. And just walked along here. This right here is an interesting channel which John Pratt, the groundskeeper, the ranger for the camp, says there's quite a bit of interesting development here, probably done by an individual, including possibly cutting through this rock to channelize this water which flows down into Cayuga Lake, just through those trees. Pretty interesting stuff. Potentially the hand of Bailey. I don't know about that. Maybe even that pipe. It's pretty old. Up here, that meadow is where, as far as we know, those are the only surviving apple trees and even one pear tree that Bailey planted in one of his many orchards. He's been close to 10, I think. I'll look that number up later. But this is the former ranger house. It's in need of repairs, so it's not where John lives right now. But this tree, you might be able to start to see it here, close to us, is a pear tree. And here's a pear hanging, nice and close up, little baby pear. This was grafted by Hyde Bailey, and bottom portion of this tree, you can see there's a section here, a change, and then up here. Bottom portion, John Pratt has been told on pretty good authority, is definitely an apple stock, and above that is where he grafted a pear tree onto it, and still bearing fruit. Now, in the year 2017, an apple tree that may have been planted in the 1890s. There are more apple trees over here. A couple right there, one right there, a couple here and here. You may be able to see in front of the house. The only trees on the property that have been identified. However, much of the property has gone into private ownership, and there could be trees in the neighborhood still that were planted or grafted by the father of modern horticulture and the founder of the new agrarianism. But let's take this path through the woods. That is a pretty bird feather. This is a path that, to my knowledge, is most likely the one that Bailey describes in the first or second year of being here. They wanted a trail to go down to the lake. I'm willing to bet that these sort of natural stone steps, a little bit of carving going on there, but Bailey probably walked down those steps along with his wife and his two little girls many times. So let's go down this path. This is all part of Camp Comstock today, joined with the property to the south, which was donated by the Payne family to be part of the Girl Scout camp as well. And this part of the Bailey property, which is only the front part, it seems like, from what John Pratt, the local current ranger, what he's been told, it seems like the actual Bailey property was relatively narrow. We saw the house back there. It doesn't go much beyond where we can see in the woods right now. As far as the north-south distance, and of course we're very close to the lake here, and just beyond that field where the apples are and that house is the highway. But it also went pretty far inland, and it sounds like it was longer in that direction than it was wide from north to south. So, if anybody ever tells you the Baileys didn't have much property, don't believe them out here. It was not a huge farm by any means, but they planted fruit trees, so, like I said, a number of orchards, also various kinds of berries, and they had a potato field, and they grew turnips between rows of apples some years, and they did a lot of those kinds of experiments. Kind of a nice view of one of these ravines. We have pictures at the Bailey Museum of Bailey, another picture of one of his daughters down in a ravine, and hard to see here, there's a really lovely rock formation there, kind of a striated sedimentary formation. It's just a beautiful property. It's likely that those pictures were taken on the property here somewhere. So back on the trail, you can see here we've got some structures that belong to the camp, which are not currently in use. Oh wow, some kind of big bird just flew over the water. Looked like a heron or something. Private property. They know I'm here. We're past the summer season, so the only Girl Scouts on the property are not in this area. This is Crowbar Point, I think they said. And this is a part of the property that actually they found some artifacts that belong to local First Nations tribes. So this is apparently a place where they would camp out. There's shelter back in that ravine. Nice little sheltered bay here, cove. Makes sense that this would be a place that was used for camping long before the Baileys were here, and certainly before Camp Comstock was founded. We know that Bailey had a pier constructed that went out into the lake, and it was most likely off of this point somewhere. So, something in these bushes too. There aren't many people around here, so probably startling some of the local residents. Anyway, I'm going to poke around and see if there's any signs of that old pier. I doubt it, but you never know what you'll see. It's kind of a cool outdoor fireplace. An interesting little, this is how we get to the end of the point, I guess. It's just amazing to imagine. This is the place that the Baileys would come for inspiration and an escape from town. Liberty Hyde Bailey was not necessarily a town boy. He grew up on the farm. He grew up in the woods, and this is his escape. And this is just magnificent. Oh, look at all the merganser ducks. Hey guys. Sorry. Yeah, John Pratt's best guess is that that's Tanavisca down there. Can't see it here, but the Cornell University is down that way. And John said that this is a popular party cove with the New Jersey boat-owning crowd today, but I imagine it might have been a little bit less crazy back in the day. And there's so we can imagine the pier. Might as well imagine it going out past this current structure, this piling, which, who knows, maybe they put that, well, it's to mark the point. and one of the early years when Bailey was still getting the farm going, getting the fields set up and scions planted for the orchards, he had this pier built, and he rented a sailboat from Ithaca and sailed up by himself up this long Finger Lake right to his pier, where he would have gotten off, tramped along this gravel bit and up inland, and just beyond those trees, just around the edge of this point, is Bailiwick, his home, and that is where he hand wrote some of his books. He said that the best book he ever wrote was a novel, and he spent a month up there in the cabin, in the cottage, I should say, of Bailiwick, writing that novel. He got to the end of it, let it sit for a little while, and then decided he'd go through and read it. He read it once, and threw it into the fire. The story says anyway. It's the story he told at his 90th birthday. And who knows? There is a novel manuscript in the archives at Cornell. Could be the novel he was referring to. It's possible that he didn't burn it, but that he just didn't want it published, and so he kept it there. But anyway, this has been a pretty amazing experience for me, and just wanted to take this little video to share it with whoever might be interested. I'll go up and take a little video of the actual stone cottage as well. But yeah.